Well, are you scared yet? What about now? Are you scared? Well, how about now? We'll give you reasons not to be so scared. Let's dive into it. Welcome to The Long and Short. Maestro here. Thanks for tuning in. Every day on this channel, we try to make you a better crypto trader by showing you smart money, price action trading techniques from a long and a short-term perspective. And it doesn't matter if you're a hodler or a short-term trader, we have some strategies for you. Today, we're going to cover a lot of different things. We're going to take a look at the price charts, why Bitcoin price is down. We're going to take a look at the news, all of the FUD out there. We're going to take a look at futures. And there's also a couple of charts that I think may surprise a few people when it comes to positive price action for Bitcoin. All right, so lots to cover today. Let's go ahead and dive in. Bitcoin plunges below 40K as Russia has reportedly given its forces orders to attack Ukraine. So U.S. intelligence was all over the news yesterday talking about how Russia is getting ready to attack Ukraine. I don't believe this has happened yet. I hope it doesn't happen. And at this current hour, I haven't received any messages saying that it has happened yet. So let's hope for a calm day. All right. But at the time of the writing, Bitcoin was down under 40K, 38.7, down 3.4% in the previous 24 hours, lowest level since February 3rd. They're also citing here a misuse of OpenSea, the leading NFT platform, may have shooed investors away even further from cryptocurrency. I would say probably shooed people away from NFTs, but not necessarily cryptocurrency. There's a difference there that I think we need to recognize. And they just mentioned all of the different factors at play. Of course, Jerome Powell's announcement in March that they're probably going to raise the rates, or they will in March. Okay. Stock market's worst month since March 2020. Issuance of the Fed's long-awaited research on the possibility of a government-issued digital currency, also pulling against Bitcoin. So all of these different concerns may have made people reduce their exposure to crypto and look for safer assets to get into. You got to remember, Bitcoin is considered a very risky asset in traditional finance. Also, this just mentions that Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, has mentioned that Russia is getting ready to invade Ukraine. So lots of FUD, lots of FUD. Let's talk about what Peter Schiff actually said, because he's going crazy as well. Tons of different quotes mentioning why Bitcoin is bad and why gold is good. They put charts up. I mean, they were going all in, all in. Now, they're trying to make the comparison that gold has held stronger than Bitcoin. And anytime that price sort of shows a negative correlation there, he's going to come out with this stuff. So don't buy so much into what Peter Schiff says. He's going to do this, okay? But we as holders of Bitcoin, we need to understand what the game is about. He wants us to sell. He wants us to capitulate. He wants us to buy gold. We all know the reasons why we bought Bitcoin in the first place. All right, so we'll just mention a couple of these tweets here. Not only is Bitcoin back below 40K, but year over year, it's down close to 30%, he tweeted, minutes after Bitcoin's price plunged below 40K. He's just waiting, all right? Like, he's the ultimate troll. He will continue to troll. And if you don't know how to deal with the troll, I'll tell you. You simply ignore them. But it's funny to sit here and look at this and actually laugh at it and say, just give it 6 months, give it a year. Let's see where we are then. And if your Twitter's so active. The scary part for the longs is that the pattern projects a move below 30K. Once that level is breached, Bitcoin will have completed a massive double top. From there, a crash below 10K is highly likely, he asserted, because he's following old traditional chart pattern TA that we all know that Bitcoin never follows. Okay, so good try there, buddy. Smarter than you. Many Bitcoin pumpers have criticized gold for its failure to keep pace with inflation. While gold has not kept pace with the 7.5 year-over-year rise in the CPI either, with the 6% year-over-year gain, it's much closer than Bitcoin, exclamation point. Then they throw a chart in here that gives you even more reasons to say Bitcoin sucks. But guys, look at the correlation here. If we really look at gold's price, gold has been falling too, okay? Albeit still in sort of a range, but gold's been falling too. Look at the parabolic rises when it comes to Bitcoin. This is what Peter Schiff's jealous about. Gold doesn't do that. This is all tides rising here from 2019 up to 2020, and then gold sits sideways. Nobody wants to buy gold over this price. People will invest in it when the market is rough. It is a store of value. It's been that for decades and years. But what I want people to understand is that Bitcoin combats that on the digital side. So which way is the world going? Unless we all completely destroy ourselves, then gold will be a lot more valuable. But if we continue to thrive as a human society, we're moving towards a digital realm. And so eventually, gold will become obsolete in that digital realm. But in terms of a store of value, somewhere where you can move that store of value, I can't carry gold, but I can carry Bitcoin. All right, so Peter Schiff's going to fudge you. This is what we know, okay? But there are some things that I think we need to start to take a look at here that can give us some, I would say, confidence in Bitcoin price. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so where we are right now is on a website called Look Into Bitcoin. Now, they have a number of different charts that you can take a look at Bitcoin from a long-term perspective. And what I like to do is sort of go through each one of these charts to figure out what they actually pull out in terms of information when it comes to Bitcoin. So as you guys can see, you have the stock to flow model here, you have the fear and greed index here, you have pi cycle top indicators, lots of different charts for you to take a look at to understand where Bitcoin may be in its actual life and price. Now, these are long-term charts. I wouldn't recommend any scalpers or swing traders use these charts, but you can use them to sort of catch tops and bottoms in the market based on the way that these charts are essentially laid out, right? So they give you HODLs, they give you all types of different information, right? Whale shadows, addresses holding Bitcoin by the number of Bitcoin, right? So lots of good information here, but there were just a few charts that we picked out here in regards to wanting to show our audience and that we're going to track over a long period of time. All right, so let's dive into these. Okay, so the first is the fear and greed index, and we did give a preview of this in our last video, okay, but this does give you the same exact reading that you would get from that little gauge chart that we used before, okay, but I like this a lot better because it actually gives you correlation to price. So wherever price is, right, it will give you an idea of the sentiment of the market according to where the price is. So right now the market's in extreme fear, okay, but the price is still pretty high compared to where it's been over time. Now this does track back fairly far, okay, so we're looking all the way back to 2018 here, price action here, okay, before the big bounces pushing up into 2021. All right, so I like this chart. We're going to continue to use this to get a gauge of fear and greed in the market, but there are lots more that we can take a look at. Okay, now this is your reserve risk chart. Very simple way to read these charts, and the ones that we're going to show you guys, there's some very simple readings that we're going to take a look at from a longer term perspective to get an idea when is the optimal time to get in versus get out. What you want to look for are the correlations in the price movement versus these other additional factors that they're putting up here. All right, so if we take a look at this one here, you have the Bitcoin price, which is this dark blue line at the top. Then you have the MVOCD, which is the blue line below it. Okay, and then you have your HODL bank, which I don't necessarily use, and your reserve risk, which is this red line here. So the easiest way to read this chart is whenever this reserve risk is in the pink area, you're looking for price to fall. Whenever the reserve risk is in the green area, you're looking for price to rise. These are usually optimal times to buy Bitcoin. All right, so if we take a look at just this trough here, right? If you look at price action, it was going through the same trough, but eventually it did push up to around 17K from, let's say, the areas of around 282 bucks. All right, so remember, very long-term perspective, it's going to show you a lot of price action over a lot of time. Okay, so these are HODL positions, things that you will be in for quite some time, but just understanding where price is in relation to this and this, it'll give you an idea of where price may go. Also, notice whenever the light blue line peaks and touches the dark blue line, you have a price decline. Okay, price decline, price decline, price decline. So this will help us judge where tops are versus bottoms using these two things in correlation. Okay, but that's not all. There's more. Let's dive deeper. This next chart here is the R-HODL ratio. Very similar. Okay, so when we're seeing price jump into these pink areas here, you're going to see declines. Okay, decline, decline, decline. Okay, now the blue line is the price action, the red line is the R-HODL ratio. Okay, so just like from the pink areas to the green areas, whenever price is in these little troughs here, it rises. Trough, rise. Okay, so you can see price is starting to creep its way back down into this little green area. We want to see if it does reach that area, what will happen in price. Okay, now we're going to use all of these different things: fear and greed, reserve risk, R-HODL ratio. There's a couple of more that we're going to show you as well. All right, we're going to use all of this in correlation to see where Bitcoin may be trying to find its bottom. Right now, I don't think Bitcoin has found its bottom. There is still some more pain in this market. All right. And there's a lot of different factors that are pointing this out to us. So let's continue to move forward. There are a few more that we're going to show you. Okay, the MVRV Z-score. All right. Again, don't get caught up in the names. Don't get caught up in all of these different calculations of realized cap, market cap, Z-score. We're going to tell you how to read this very simply. Anytime your Z-score is in the pink, price may fall. Okay. You're seeing the correlations here. You're seeing the correlations here. Anytime that the price or the Z-score is in the green, price rises. Okay. You see the correlations. You see the correlations. Okay. So very simple charts to watch. What are we looking for? We're just looking for this red line to either go into this pink area or the green area to determine where price may go. Okay. But as you can see, price is still moving in an upwards trajectory, but you do have severe reductions in price whenever you do have these red lines peaking into these pink and green areas. There's even more. Let's take a look. Here you have your 200-week moving average heat map. All right. So very simple way to read this chart is anytime that you see price coming back to the 200-week moving average, okay, and you're sort of in this little blue area where there's no real monthly increase in the 200 WMA, all right, which is the weekly moving average, basically meaning that price is moving very slowly. It's being condensed, right? Or it's being compressed. That's usually the best time for price to break out. So whenever price touches these lines here for the 200 WMA, and you're seeing these purple circles, these are opportune times to buy. And it shows you that each time it happens, right, price does kind of take off from this area. Price usually doesn't dip below the 200-week moving average. All right. So right now we're a bit above it. Will price fall to these areas? Where's the 200 right now? It's around 19.5. All right. So do I think we're going to see a $10,000 Bitcoin? No. Do I think we're going to see $20,000 Bitcoin? It's very possible. Okay. You give it another few weeks, this 200 MA will continue to move up a bit. All right. And then sort of steady out. That probably will be our floor based on what we're seeing here in regards to judgment of price since 2012 all the way up to 2022. Let's continue to watch this because we may actually be finding a floor somewhere near this 200-week MA. All right, there's one more that we're going to take a look at and then we'll dive into charts. Okay, the last one here is the Bitcoin Investor Tool 2-year MA multiplier. So very simple, right? You have a 2-year moving average here. And all they did was multiply this by 5 to get the upper band of the moving average. And the way that we view this is anytime price dips below this, chances are it's probably going to rally. As you can see here, number of different times that it did that. And anytime price creeps above this MA, okay, it's going to fall. So you do see the correlations here. We're going to use these charts and start to judge where Bitcoin may actually be finding a bottom at, okay? Because right now we think the price action is bearish. Right now, we think the bears have control of the market and they're not letting up. Right now, we think there's a lot of fear in the market, which is making folks capitulate. Anyone that bought Bitcoin over the past year, they probably sold it or sold a portion of it. Okay. If you're hodling, then you're taking this ride with the rest of us. Okay. But don't be scared because things like this show us that Bitcoin may be trying to find that bottom, that ever so elusive bottom that everyone is looking for. So hopefully these charts will be able to help us figure out where the bottom is and where's the most opportune time for us to get in. Now, we are still accumulating in some of these areas because we do think that price can show some strength from here as well. All right. All it takes is a bit of change in the news for these things to turn around. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin futures before we dive into the charts. Some people may try to point out that there's a CME futures gap here. There's really no gap here. You see wick to wick. This is essentially just price pushing up, coming back down off of it. Okay, so no real gap there for price to go back and get in regards to CME futures. So that's bearish. That's sort of a negative case. As you can see, it went right back to get the CME futures gap that it had created before when we had that really nice bullish weekend. All right, now what we do have to be aware of also is that the open interest is dying a bit. Your larger speculators on the commitment of traders are squeezing, still hovering near that zero line. Your smaller speculators are coming closer to the zero line, and your commercials are sitting essentially right on par with the larger speculators. This does concern me a bit. Larger speculators could turn right around and go back bearish again. Okay, so we don't want to see that. We want to see them push over that zero line. If they find confidence in buying, which I don't think there is very much of right now, then we could see that happen. Otherwise, things could start to swing a lot more south. Okay, so if the commercials push above that zero line and the larger speculators stay below it, there could be some trouble ahead. If we take a look at the elder ray, the bears have assumed power again, right? So all of these things that we have mentioned before in regards to Elder Ray, the bulls had to keep that power. They didn't break out the way that they did here. So this was suspect to us. Price eventually turned around, and as you can see, the bears have taken pretty firm control of the market once again. All right. And if we take a look at the money flow index, money's coming out, and we are in a distribution phase in price. All right. So let's dive into the charts. Let's try to find some levels of where price may actually find its floor, and then think about what could happen next. Let's move on. For the total crypto market cap, we analyzed this in a couple of different ways. Most people who are familiar with this channel already know what we're looking at, the number of 1.876 trillion. So as long as price is under this number, we're considering the market is in a weak state. All right. We're also looking at the 1.489 trillion level because this is where price has found support before. If we were to fall lower than that, then the 1.3 trillion level is sort of our saving grace. Okay, depending on where the market is, if prices do start to fall below here, they typically bounce up pretty strongly. So these are levels on the lower end that we're looking at just in case, right? Because if price were to fall here, then we understand that the market's in a bit of trouble. We believe that the market's in a bit of trouble right now. We like to see it stay above 1.876. All right, currently right now, your total market cap is at 1.68. Lower end of the market cap. All right, so we want to see this bounce up. When it'll happen, nobody really knows. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market. Let's take a look at some possible scalping plays. All of your weight is short, so what's available on the short play today? Okay, so we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin 1 hour chart, and there's a few things that we want to point out here. A lot of imbalance left to the top side. So can price push up and take out these imbalances? Yes, it can. But in all reality, if price is sort of in a negative zone and you have a bearish bias and you have a bearish trend developing, then the only move up will be sort of a retracement to take out that imbalance and then continue lower. You can see that same exact price action here. Okay, so you have imbalance here, imbalance here. Price comes up, fills that imbalance, and then just sort of topples over. All right, so you have imbalances here. Do not, under any circumstances, get hyped up over any rallies into this zone. Okay, these essentially will be retracements right back down. Even if we draw a Fibonacci on this, we can probably see some correlations in this. So let's go from the top to the bottom because we're going short there. Right, so as you can see, your golden zones are aligning right there. Okay, so let's just kind of blow this up a bit to see. So as you can see, right, if price were to come back up here, it falls right into sort of the golden zones of retracement for the Fibonacci to refill these imbalances. So if you're going short, these are the areas where you're looking. You have confluence here. Okay, this is where price dipped under, boom, came back above. This is your area to go short. Okay, if you're thinking short. If you're thinking long, okay, you want to look for the spike of liquidity to the downside, sort of the table gets set, spike liquidity to the downside, then push higher. Okay, so you may be in the position right now where if you were to jump in, right, let's just say, for example, you're trying to scalp, you're in and out, you understand that the downwards pressure is coming, right? So you have to get in, get out of the way really quickly. Your long play is just to this retracement area, okay, possibly to snatch this liquidity to the top side. If in fact price does snatch liquidity to the top side, maybe even continue a little bit higher, do not get faked out. These are the moves that bring traders in. Take stop losses, grab the liquidity, continue lower. Okay, so there's really three different areas if you're looking in regards to a long to get out. You're looking to get in once price grabs lows here and then starts to rise. Okay, so your action is going to be a bit delayed because you want to confirm that. First place to get out once this imbalance is filled. Second place to get out if price pushes above these highs or these highs. After that, you have no trade, in my opinion. Okay, not financial advice, but this is the way that we will play the market. Price showing some life right now, but do not get faked out, guys. Your pressure is short. Your pressure is short. You can zoom out to larger time frames. 4 hour, daily, weekly, everything pushing lower. Okay, news, FUD, it's all out there. Okay, there's enough to get people to sell today. Will price rally because everyone's selling today? No. If price does rally, it'll do the normal thing in price, which is snatch liquidity or take imbalances for more of a move lower. Okay, you do also have a few imbalances to the top side here. Okay, but it's going to take a lot for price to bounce its way back to 43. So do I think that these are going to be refilled at any time soon? you know, we have to see. But you do have imbalances to the top side as well. Our best hope is for price to find a bottom, sort of swing back into these ranges to refill these areas in price. But I'm not sure that that's going to happen immediately. Okay, taking a look at the Bitcoin daily chart, you are into a discounted zone here, currently trading at 37,687.6. It doesn't really matter. You're around 37,600. Okay, down 1.876 for the day. So what are we looking for? If price were to start to fall below these levels here, we're anticipating scale ins somewhere around 34, somewhere around 32, somewhere around 31. Really what you're looking for is to scale in these areas, get out in these areas. Okay, it's about taking profit. This is how you do it. All right, so we're looking for 34, 32, 31 for Bitcoin, even 30K. These are levels that seem possible at this point. Price did come down, filled this big imbalance on this daily here. So if you have anywhere where you're going to bounce, it's probably around these areas. Okay, if price were to go a little bit lower, then of course you're going to see these 34K levels, which is where we're looking to scale in to a little bit more Bitcoin. We have a pretty substantial position already, but this will be a place that we're looking to buy. All right, let's take a look at ETH. Trading right now at 26.37 in a low premium zone, trying to creep its way into this discount zone. We think Ethereum's a good buy somewhere around 25.36. Our first scaling area is going to be around 24.01. But right now, Ethereum, the only real one showing life besides a couple of other ones, things like Luna, things like Mana, they're showing some life as well. Ethereum up right now, 0.62% on the day, trying to show some life and not push itself into this discount zone. I think Ethereum definitely has a lot more support at these areas than Bitcoin does. I think Bitcoin can definitely drop from these areas here. All right, let's take a look at XRP right now at 77 cents in a discounted zone. We think that these are still good areas to accumulate for XRP, but be careful, okay? If the market will continue to drop, then you will see lower prices before you see higher prices, okay? So accumulation in these areas does come with a bit of warning, okay? And again, you're not dropping everything. You are putting in just a little bit to see if you can accumulate at these areas at pretty decent prices. So right now, XRP is at 77 cents in a discounted zone. We're scaling in from 86 cents to 65 cents, hoping for price to break above $1 relatively soon if we do get some positive price action here. All right, let's take a look at ADA. Cardano has broken below the $1 buy zone that we have been working within, okay? So, you know, in our position, we are down some, but we do think that Cardano does have floors here. If we take a look to the left, these are areas where price does sort of launch from. Under these zones that we talked about for about $1, Cardano was under it. Do we think it's going to stay here long? We hope not. All right. There are other areas around 89 cents where we're looking to accumulate as well. So do we still think Cardano's a good buy? Definitely. All right. We'll just take a look at a couple of more. Mostly the top 10 is what we're going to cover here, and then we'll go ahead and drop off. So for Solana, we are also looking at it in a discounted zone. Solana has seemed to have found a floor here. Okay. Not as much negative price action, but still negative. Okay. So right in these areas around 88, 113, these are good accumulation areas for us when it comes to Solana. And again, do we think price is going to launch out of these areas? It does have the possibility to, okay? But right now, things seem pretty bearish on the market. So 89 bucks in a discounted zone. These are areas where we would like to accumulate. All right, we'll cover a couple of more and then we'll go ahead and dive out. Let's talk about AVAX. Also, very strong coin, okay? So you can see AVAX came up from a discounted zone to a low premium zone, sort of stalled out there and came right back down to this discount zone. So we said anything under $77 is a buy for AVAX. And you can see it starts to find support in these areas here. Okay. So do we think AVAX has a chance to go lower? Yes, you do have some imbalances to the lower side here, but will it stay in this discount area for long? We don't think so. You see very nice aggressive pushes once price does reach these areas. Okay. So if you're looking for strength in anything, I would say AVAX is one that you will want to take a look at. All right, let's take a look at some movers today. Terra Luna actually moving today pretty well. All right, so price is up for the day for Terra Luna. You're always going to have one that pumps. All right, now looking at the entire market here and taking a look at coins like Terra Luna, all right, you see a lot more support here. Okay, you're in the discounted zone, but you're bouncing out of it. Okay, price comes in, bounces out of it, comes in, bounces out of it. All right, comes in, bounces out of it. So as long as Luna continues to show us this type of strength, right, things are starting to turn around, seems like a little bit. Market's turning green here. All right, so that's good news. New York's open. So beware, guys. New York will reverse you by the afternoon. Everything seems to be rocket shipping right now. Okay, even the market cap is starting to take off. Wow, this is interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so happy President's Day to everybody. We're going to go ahead and start to close out for the day. Lots of interesting things going on in the market. All right, so let's continue to pay attention and let's not lose sight of what we're aiming for, folks. You want to accumulate at these lower prices, you know, and right now it seems that the market's just sort of turned and spun itself on a top. A lot of this stuff was down in the beginning of the video, and now it seems that prices are starting to rebound here a little bit. But watch the New York reversal somewhere around anywhere from 12p to 2p is when you may start to see prices sort of change character here. All right, but they're starting to push up for the New York Open. All right, so hopefully this information has been valuable for you guys. If you do like what you're seeing here, please go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, bell button, notification, all of that good stuff that we ask you to do on YouTube so that you're aware of what's going on when we do drop new content. All right, it's Maestro, man. Very interesting market today. Let's see what happens. It's the long and short. We out of here. Peace.